Hi, guys. Welcome back to the No One to Tell Us No podcast, a podcast where we share our life experiences and truly live life like there's no one to tell us no. I'm Courtney, and with me is my husband and adventure partner, Charlie.
Hey guys, hope everyone's doing well today. It's been a minute since we uploaded a podcast, but we're back at it. We had Thanksgiving and we've just been doing a bunch of stuff. And so,
Prepping for the holidays.
yeah, that too. Your parents came into town.
They did.
And stayed with us. And so we were busy doing all that, all the Thanksgiving stuff, getting ready for the holidays, and then doing all of our adventures that kind of like talk about today. Yeah, this time of year gets super busy around here, not only because of the holidays, but I like to call it like the locals summer because the weather starts to get like perfect.
Oh, yeah. It's amazing. It's like 70s, couple of 80-degree days, no rain.
That's the best part is like it doesn't rain. Like Thanksgiving and all through like December, there's like hardly any rain. And when we moved here last year, I was like, is it like this every year? And apparently it is. Like December is known down here for like very, very little rain. So it makes for doing the outdoor activities more fun.
Well, also more tolerable because you're not sweating your butt off and just uncomfortable the whole time.
And I don't know if that local summer thing is a thing around here, but where we moved from, Wilmington, North Carolina, was a like destination town. It was like it was a beach town. And around September and into October, right after Labor Day, Labor Day is in September, right? Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Right after Labor Day and through September and into October, the locals around there called it the local summer. So all the vacationers left, all the kids are going back to school, and everybody's going back to their normal routine. And then it kind of opens up the beaches and the crowds dissipate from all the popular attractions where we live. So that phrase kind of stuck with me. And when we moved down here, I was like, this weather kind of feels like that local summer when it's like not really hot anymore and it's not cold. And you start to see a lot more locals start doing the activities, like not just theme parks, but just out and about.
And I will say the traffic, it sucks no matter what, but the traffic just around our area where we live is a little bit lighter now that we don't have the tourists coming to the water park that's near us.
Well, you have like the certain times of the year. So like summer all the way through Halloween, it's busy. There's people here enjoying all the summer activities and the Halloween activities. And then right after Halloween, there might be a little bit of crowd because of some other activities happening around. But after like that Veterans Day and up until Thanksgiving, there's like nothing really going on. And then you have Thanksgiving, forget it, there's crowds. And then after Thanksgiving, for like the next couple weeks until like school lets out for the Christmas break, it's very doable around town, like meaning that not as heavy of traffic and not a lot of people like in the hustle and bustle of everything and then all the activities. So it becomes, like I said, a local summer. And then it does get a little chilly at night, which it's fine, but I don't really like the cold. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I like moving down here, because I don't have to shiver.
Yeah.
I know we were only in North Carolina, and I know it gets colder other places, but I hate shivering because it just hurts my back and my body, and it's so uncomfortable.
You sound like an old person.
Hey, move down here, be warm. It's okay. I get cold easily now.
Yeah.
The older I've gotten, the more cold that I get.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's good that it only is cold little spurts throughout the year, so I don't have to deal with that. I will take sweating over shivering. That's what I tell everybody.
See, I am slightly the opposite. I can always put on more layers, but there's only so much you can take off and it be socially acceptable. That's my thoughts on it.
I mean, I also get the fact of like getting in the holiday mood of like it being a little cooler at nighttime and things like that. It doesn't make sense whenever you're blowing out fake snow and it's 80 degrees outside. Like I get that. And like you want to drink hot chocolate, but not when it's also hot outside. But it just doesn't get as cold and doesn't stay cold for long. And that's what I appreciate. But I will say this. When it does get cold, people are not expecting how cold Florida can get.
Yeah, it's definitely an unexpected type of cold because it can go from like 75 during the day to like 55 at night. And I think just as humans, our internal body temperatures and stuff can't handle the sudden shift that creates. I don't know. I'm not a scientist.
Yeah.
I don't pretend to be.
My body has acclimated to Florida weather.
Yeah.
I think when we go back and visit North Carolina or go states further north in the wintertime, it's going to be a shock system.
Yeah, I agree with that. So enough about the weather. Let's talk about some stuff that we have been doing the last couple of weeks.
What was one of your favorite activities?
Oh my gosh, I really liked, I don't know, it's a tie between, we recently did a ghost tour in Winter Garden, and we also did the Asian Lantern Festival up at the Central Florida Zoo.
I thought you were going to say something else.
What do you think I was going to say?
I thought you were going to say the Boggy Creek Airboat Adventure.
Yeah. I mean, it was fun, but I think the other things won out a little bit.
I would say my most surprising one out of the activities that we'll talk about was the Boggy Creek Airboat Adventure, mainly because I haven't done anything like that before.
Yeah.
I've been out on a boat. I've seen alligators, but I've never been on an airboat.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely a different experience than going out on a regular boat. It's fun. I didn't know what to expect. I had seen videos and pictures of them before. I thought it was going to be more rough than it was. Mm. I thought it was going to be like buggy.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't know if it was. Now I can imagine in the summer.
Oh yeah.
The weather's a lot different. We went over the week of Thanksgiving, and that was the perfect temperature. Mm-hmm. It was probably like high 70s, maybe 80 degrees outside. And the boat ride itself, very smooth. They're going for it really fast. The fan is loud. So it feels.
But they gave us ear protection.
Yeah, you get ear protection, nice. Definitely. And you definitely want to wear it because it is very loud.
Yeah, don't mess up your hearing.
Yeah, definitely do not want to do that. But it's a relaxing ride. When we got going and we're going full speed, I was surprised how relaxing it is. Mm-hmm. And it was fun. You're not guaranteed to see anything because you are out in the wild.
Yeah.
This is not a zoo or anything like that. But I think the drivers like know where to go. I bet they know where they've spotted ones, prior tours or where.
Yeah, like they know where like the hangout spots are of the gators.
It's their goal to try to let you see some wildlife. Mm-hmm. And I think we ended up seeing 2, maybe 3 gators on the trip.
We saw a lot of birds. A lot of birds were like flying away from the boat. It was funny because there were some that were like flapping their wings like while running on the water, trying to like outrun our boat. And that was funny.
And the water's like covered in like lily pad type things. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they were lily pads, but they're, leaves sitting on top of the water. And the birds were using those to run across so they wouldn't sink down in the water.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny to see.
Yeah.
But, they had like big herons out there. We saw some hawks. We did see a couple gators, maybe a third one. I don't remember. But there was one that kind of was sitting, basking in the sun. And we got to kind of get closer to it and get some good pictures of it. Mm-hmm. So that was fun to see.
We asked them when is probably the most popular time to go and see the most gators. And they actually said more into December. And then again, I want to say in like March or
it all
April.
Revolves around the mating season.
Yeah.
When the boys are chasing the girls.
Yep.
It all revolves around that.
Or when the eggs are hatching and things like that. Yeah.
But whenever it does get like cold outside, they tend to like stay still because they're trying to conserve energy and they're trying to lay out in the sun to keep warm.
But something that I just thought of that I really liked at this facility was even if you don't see gators or any kind of crazy wildlife out on your boat tour, they have a little setup where they've worked with Gatorland and they have leased some of their juvenile gators and they have like a little area set up for them. Yeah, a little enclosure.
Yeah, when you make your way out there and you purchase your ticket for the ride, they have a 30-minute ride and an hour ride. We only did the 30-minute ride.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was plenty long.
Yeah.
Like a
Just long
solid,
enough to go out,
yeah.
see some things, and come on back in. I think if you did like a longer tour, they take you like further out
Yeah.
to maybe other hangout spots of gators, but we just did the 30-minute one and
It was
it
perfect.
was fine.
But when you get your ticket, you kind of can go through the gates and you're inside. There's a couple places to get something to eat. There's some little souvenir shops, and then the gator enclosure that you were talking about. It looked like they did have a sit down restaurant, but it was closed at the time. They were doing some maintenance and work on it.
Yeah.
Looked like they had an issue prior back. Looked like there was a minor fire, so they were fixing that. That's there normally. I will say, if you are interested in going to this, it is a drive outside of the Orlando area. So if you're down here on like vacation, or if you live in Orlando, you got to make a small, 45 to an hour trek out to Boggy Creek. And you got to remember, you got to go to a big lake or a creek where these airboats can go. Like, this can't operate in the middle of a city.
Right.
So you got to go where the habitat is, which is, it brings you to what natural Florida looks like.
Yeah.
No highways, nothing like that. You're going down a back road, you get there, and it's like, it looks like quintessential Florida.
It was very unassuming. Like, when we drove down the 2-lane road and we made the little exit to actually park, you basically just park in a boat ramp dock area.
Yeah, there's a public boat ramp right next to it.
But like, then it's just this little sidewalk to the ticket booth, and bam, you're right there. It was, like I said, very unassuming.
No, I really enjoyed it. I would go back again. I would take more people there if they had never done airboats before.
Yeah.
Don't they have like a night one?
They do. They have like nighttime ones. There's sunset ones. There's all kinds of different little tours that they do.
Yeah. I would check out their website to see the different options. It's called Boggy Creek Airboat Adventures. I did post a couple posts on our Instagram and Facebook about it, so you can see some videos and pictures of what we were talking about. And side note, if you're already not following us on Instagram and Facebook, please go do so, because all these adventures and expeditions that we're talking about, we put all of that on social media so you guys can have a visual of it. And then we like to talk about it here.
Yep. The handle is at No One to Tell Us No podcast.
Yeah.
Little plug there.
But yeah, check out their website for the different tours and options that they have. Maybe they have different stuff during the holidays. And I know they have some add-ons that you can do. It was a very nice facility. I will say, I was pleasantly surprised by what we saw. They even had nice, clean bathrooms for being out where it was. Because sometimes you can get into a situation like that and
here's a porta potty.
Yeah, nobody wants that. So the facility was nice.
They also had a butterfly garden.
Oh, yeah.
That was very cute, or a butterfly enclosure walkthrough that you could do. I am not the biggest fan of bugs, even if you throw some pretty wings on it. I just don't like bugs landing on me, and they tickle and ugh. But I still walked through it. I persevered.
Yeah.
And there were some very pretty butterflies. I just admired them from a distance. There's
some cool photo ops around, like where they have some like airboats and gator statues and whatnot you can take pictures of. They did have like a bonfire area where they could light that up and maybe do s'mores or something. I'm not sure. We were there during like the daytime, so we didn't see that going on. They also have cornhole and other lawn games that kids can participate into. I can imagine during the summer months when it's like prime vacation time, it's a lot busier than when we were there. Yeah. When we were there, it was perfect. Like, it was just a handful of people. Yep. And it was great. And if I remember correctly, it was fairly affordable. Like, it was a reasonable price. And if you guys live down here in this area and are listening to this, and you guys work in the hospitality industry, which majority of you probably do, if you live down here, you're working for the theme parks, hotels, entertainment, something like that. You can purchase this thing called the HIA card, which is the Hospitality Industry Association. And it's a card, and I believe I bought it for $30. And you get discounts to all these places all over Florida, not just Central Florida, but everywhere. There's an app for this card and everything. And so for this one, it was free for the member. So it was free for myself and then 50% off. So it was me, you, and your parents. You and your parents were all 50% off with this card, which was awesome. And we've used this card a lot at other places to get discounts. So if you guys are listening to this and you guys work in the hospitality industry, check it out. And it's good for a whole year.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is provide like a pay stub and prove that you work in the hospitality industry, and you're good to go. Not even just activities, there's restaurants and stuff too. So.
Yeah. And the only stipulation with that card for some activities, they limit what the activity is. Like for this one, we could only use the 50% off for the 30-minute tour. So,
and it'll limit the amount of people.
Yeah.
So like up to 4 or something. Just a side note there about that, especially for people that live in this area and work in the industry.
Absolutely. Why pay full price?
Always trying to save a buck. Yeah, I mean, overall, it was a fun little excursion. It was a little drive out. That would probably be my like negative, the far drive out to get there. But other than that, it was a good time. All the staff there was really nice and helpful and friendly and funny. I'd take people there again.
So I know I mentioned what my favorite thing was that we've done the last couple of weeks. What has been your favorite thing that
I think it was the Boggy Creek.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because it was like more unique. And I hadn't done anything like that before.
Okay. Well, then we'll transition to what one of my favorite things was the ghost tour that we did in Winter Garden. Yeah. I know in a previous episode, we had talked about a ghost tour in Orlando that we did, which was awesome. It was through the company US Ghost Adventures. And so come to find out, they actually have a tour that is in Winter Garden.
And they just started it like 8-9 months ago.
Yeah, it's like brand new. So we actually, when I booked our tickets and everything and we showed up, it was literally just us. There was no one else that had signed up for that day. So
it was like a private tour.
Yeah, it was really cool to basically have a private tour for the price of a public tour.
So maybe if you book it now before it gets popular, you might have the same situation.
Yep. So in a nutshell, our tour guide, who was amazing.
And real quick, if people aren't familiar with Winter Garden, it's one of the towns around the Orlando area. So you have Orlando, and like downtown Orlando is like quintessential like city center. And then like when you're traveling to Orlando, people are like, oh, you're going to Orlando. But most people are going to like Lake Buena Vista and things like that, because that's where Disney is and stuff like that. Universal is more in the Orlando area, but there's like different neighborhoods and different towns. And so if you're looking at a map, you have Orlando in the center. And then if you go west just a little bit, you have a town called Winter Garden. And technically it stretches south a little bit and a little bit farther north, but it's one of the more historic towns around the area. It's definitely more of like that quintessential neighborhood with that quintessential downtown. There's some really good shopping and really good restaurants. But with it being a historic downtown, you have some historic stories and weird things that have happened.
Possibly paranormal.
Which leads to a good ghost tour.
Yeah, no, our ghost tour was really good. So like I was saying, our tour guide, he was amazing and he was very animated. He answered all of our questions.
He's really into like the paranormal activity stuff. Like he even has his own podcast called The Cryptic Files.
Yep.
And something that I've never seen before on a ghost tour is like, I guess it was an app on his phone, but he was able to hold it up and there was some reading that it was able to tell him and show an outline of potential paranormal activity.
Yeah.
So sometimes you would see a figure of a person.
So the point of it was to catch shadows within shadows is what he described it as. And so not only did we get really cool history, we also got the paranormal investigative side where he would show the app to us at certain areas. And sure enough, there'd be a little
the one
stick
from
person.
The one from the first stop had an outline of a human body. which was weird to see. The other ones were not as formed of a human body, but more of like, here's a circle or an oval or something like that.
Yeah, or like a
Sometimes they,
square, like
yeah,
two little sticks.
yeah. But that first one, I was like, oh, that's a human figure right there,
Yep.
which is kind of weird because
Yeah.
I joked whenever we saw the first one, I was like, I'm going to go touch it. And I was like, I don't know if I really want to walk over there because that's showing that there's something possibly there.
Yeah.
It's all what you believe, though.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to take a chance bringing the ghost home.
No. And so Winter Garden is also known for being part of the railroad system when it was in its prime. So transporting goods and people.
Well, mostly oranges,
Yes.
citrus. So
yes.
obviously Florida is big on orange groves and was a big citrus farming community back in the day.
Yep.
So they built the railroad to go through there to transport oranges. And so
and a lot of people came down to Florida to work in the fields or the orange groves, and they ended up staying in Winter Garden. And there were tons of stories of like the different hotels in the area. There were different shops that had some spooky stories. There was
a movie theater.
Yep, the movie theater. There was a doctor's office that had a creepy tale to it. It was such a good tour, and I would definitely do it and recommend you all do it.
I'd like to see if they add more stories as they progress in getting this kind of off the ground and running for that area. But since it's a historic area and I believe he said it was on the National Registry for Historic Cities or Towns. I don't know if I have that verbiage right, but it's on like the National Registry. So like the stuff can't be torn down. It has to be preserved. So when you're looking at the building that this story happened in, that's the building.
Right.
Sure, maybe, and now it's a different restaurant and it was a store back then, or upstairs used to be a doctor's office and now it's an apartment building. But the remnants of the building is all still there. Like he was telling a story about this 3-story building that was a hotel and there's an elevator in it. That elevator is still there. If you want to use it, it might be haunted, but certain things. I don't want to dive too deep into the different stories because I think people should go experience this for themselves, but just kind of not a place that you would think a ghost tour would happen in Florida and right outside Sydney Center, right outside of the main Orlando area in a little town of Winter Garden. But go there, grab some dinner from the Plant Street Market. If you don't know what that is, look it up. There's even a lot of good restaurants around. And then grab yourself some dessert and go have a ghost tour.
Exactly. Now, something else that we did with my parents, we did the Orlando Eye, which was a lot of fun as well. I thoroughly enjoyed this. Think of it like a giant Ferris wheel, but it's all enclosed. Like each of the little capsules are enclosed, air conditioned. They had music playing inside of it.
You could choose your own music.
You could. And it was a really cool way to see the city.
Most people have seen these type of Ferris wheels before. Big tourist attractions in big cities. Like I've seen pictures of the ones in London. Sure, you got ones in like Vegas. I know Myrtle Beach has one, stuff like that. But it's a tourist attraction. They're built in a large scale, which makes them bigger than a typical Ferris wheel. Like this is not your Ferris wheel at like a county fair. This is kind of like a bougie Ferris wheel, and it's really high up there. Gives you the opportunity to see the area from a bird's eye view, and it's slow, so you don't have to like worry about like missing stuff and whatnot. It takes its time. I'd say it probably took about minutes to go around the whole thing, at least 20 to 25 minutes. So and you're a good 300 to 400 feet up in the air, maybe. I don't know the exact height, but a lot of people have probably been on these type of things before. But if you're into that type of stuff, I would recommend this because it's fun, especially because the Orlando area and Florida itself is flat. So if you got a clear day, you can see really far.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we were able to see so many cool things off in the distance and pinpoint things. Like now that we've lived here for a year, we have a better idea of the geographic locations of things. And so it was really cool to look out onto the horizon and say, there's the Gaylord Palms, or there's
Disney
downtown.
or
There's,
Universal
yeah.
or Epic Universe, and think we could see like the area where our apartment was and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yep.
But
So,
if you're
yeah.
not familiar with the Orlando Eye, that is just south of downtown Orlando, pretty close to Universal Studios, right off of I-4. But if you're familiar with the area, International Drive or I
Mm-hmm.
Drive, very touristy area, has all the chain restaurants, everything. But in that area is called Icon Park. And the reason why it's called Icon Park is because their goal was to build like large scale attractions. So
Mm-hmm.
one, you have the Orlando Eye, which is the large Ferris wheel. They have the swings. I forgot the name of them, but they take you straight up and it spins around and you're in a swing and whatnot. So you're like
Mm-hmm.
300 feet up in the air. They have one of the slingshots there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure they have plans to build other large attractions and stuff. Inside Icon Park, there's restaurants and shopping and things like that. A lot of brands and names that you know of.
Mm-hmm.
We walked around briefly, but we were there primarily for the Eye. And so yeah, it's right in the middle of that park. It's kind of like the epicenter of Icon Park, the Orlando Eye is, with the
Mm-hmm.
Ferris wheel and whatnot.
Yeah.
Funny enough, we had just talked about the HIA card with the price of everything. This was actually on the HIA card as well
Oh,
too.
yeah, it was.
So we got 50% off of everybody for this trip. So it was nice. It was like buy one, get one free.
Mm-hmm.
We had 4 people with us.
Yep.
So that was nice. It is a little pricey, like,
Yeah.
especially if you're paying full price. I don't think I would want to go there and pay full price for everybody and go frequently.
Mm-hmm.
I think they had some like passes and stuff where you could go often.
Yeah, I think they also had like bundles where you could do like the
Multiple
Eye.
attractions.
They have a sea life there. They had the wax museum, other little kind of touristy things that you could bundle with that.
Yeah. But man, I think it was $35 a person or 40, somewhere in the $30 range. And I'm sure the prices will differentiate based off of what you want to do. But this is my another little plug for the little HIA card that only costs $30 with how much money
Already
you can
getting your
save
money's worth.
already. Yeah, so it was fun. I mean, overall, it was, again, relaxing and enjoyable to see things, especially like you said, now that we've lived here, kind of be able to spot what's going on. I would like to go back and do it at night.
Yeah, seen videos of people filming their experience at night, and it's very pretty with all the lights and even like the car headlights in the distance. It's just very almost magical looking.
I will say, if you're scared of heights, probably not your activity.
Yeah.
I mean, go on it if you want to. You are high up there. You are enclosed, and I'm sure there's all kinds of safety features. Again, this is not a county fair or state fair Ferris wheel.
No.
It is a bougie Ferris wheel.
Yes. And there's a little seat area in the middle of the cargo.
Gondola. It's like a gondola.
Yeah. There's a little seat in the middle so that if you did want to sit down and enjoy the view, you can. Or if there's somebody in your party that just can't stand for a long period of time, there's a little seat there.
And I wonder if it gets busy, do they put other parties in the gondola with you? Because it was just us there, which was nice. I wouldn't have liked to have been in there with a few other people because it was just us. We were able to move around and do what we want, talk about what we want. But I would hate for there to be like 10 people in there, and especially strangers. So I wonder what they do with that. I wonder if it's just one party per, but not because their queue line that they had set up was ready for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I was walking through, I was like, are there this many people that come to this like one time? I can imagine on the weekend in the evening.
Yeah.
During the summer, it's pretty darn popular.
Yeah.
But just something to keep in mind when you go, maybe a question to ask if you're interested in just riding alone. But overall, fun little new activity.
Yeah.
That we did.
Checked off the list.
Yep.
Something else we also did that evening was we went to the Asian Lantern Festival, which is the other thing that I was mentioning that I was torn between because I do love me a ghost tour, but this to me was the more surprising of the things that we did because I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was or as elaborate as it was.
I was expecting it to be smaller, not short, but the scale of the exhibits.
Yeah.
They were more grand than I thought they were going to be. I was like, wow, that was not expecting that crab to be that big.
Yeah. Yeah. So the Asian Lantern Festival, it happens at the Central Florida Zoo, and you do have to buy your tickets ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and you reserve a time slot.
yes. So the time slots that I remember were the options of 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and 8 o'clock. And we chose the 8 o'clock because we ended up getting dinner beforehand. It's, again, a drive up there. If you live up in North Orlando or up in the Winter Park area, not as far of a drive for you, but for us, it was about an hour.
It is in a town called Sanford. So it's north of downtown Orlando. It's just off of I-4, but it's a good ways up there. I mean, we were coming from the south part of Orlando, so we had to drive up and go past downtown Orlando, which we never do because it is such a far drive. But you're kind of out in the non-city area.
Yeah.
It is definitely a different feeling up there.
Yeah.
But obviously that is probably one of the only places that a zoo could be in the Orlando area. But just note that if you want to go to this, plan the drive out.
Yeah. But I think it's really cool because with it being an operating zoo, like they had some of the animals out while we were there.
They were sleeping.
They were, but, and you really couldn't see them, but there were some that you could like hear in the distance, which was pretty cool.
It does make me want to go back because it was a nice facility. Local zoos, you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
And so this one seemed pretty nice. And I would like to go back and see what the zoo is like during the day and see the animals that they have.
Yeah.
Obviously, since the Lantern Festival takes place at night, all the animals are asleep and you're just there focusing on the lantern. And it's a nice way for the zoo to earn a little bit extra revenue for them, I can imagine. Because when it gets winter and nighttime, it's like, well, what can we do to support ourselves? And I'm sure they are a small business and do what they can to support themselves. So you're not only supporting, the Asian Lantern Festival and the people that help put that on, but you're supporting a local zoo and helping all the little animals.
Yay, little animals. And I will say it's worth noting that whenever I was purchasing the tickets, they had a special where if you bought a 4-pack, it was like, I want to say $88, but each individual ticket, if you were to buy them separately, is, I want to say, like $30, depending on when you go, because there's like more popular nights, like when you get closer to Christmas and New Year's and things like that. But they also had specialty nights, which I thought was really cute. They had a Santa night where Santa comes and visits, and then they also had sensory awareness night. So maybe the lights are a little bit dimmer.
No flashing.
Yeah, no flashing.
Volume on music is lower.
Yeah. So very, for those who maybe have sensory sensitivities, it's a good opportunity to take advantage of those nights.
It's a good family-friendly environment and family activity to do. Everyone was there, with their families, it seemed like, from grandkids to mom and dad and grandpa. And it seemed like a tradition that, what I was overhearing, they do this every year. So they plan a night out and they all go together.
And something else that I thought was really cute, if you have an infant, this would be a really cool thing to take an infant to, because with infants, they love lights. Like they just, I don't know what it is about lights and fans, but they love lights.
I love them.
Yeah. So taking an infant and letting them see all the cool colors and lights, and some of the lanterns actually moved a little bit. So that was really interesting to see. And just to see all the kids like looking and being just awestruck by these lanterns was kind of heartwarming.
And I will say that if you're going for like Christmas lights, this is not like a Christmas light display.
No.
They do, there are certain sections where they're like Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, things like that. But the main thing is focusing on the intricate detail of an Asian lantern. and how it's designed and lit up and the colors and the beauty of it. So you're not seeing a bunch of Christmas lights, you're seeing traditional Asian lanterns on a large scale. And so you're seeing like animals, like dolphins and bears and even mythical creatures like
Yeah.
dragons and frogs and other ocean life and things like that that they bring
Yeah.
to life. And it's really fun. So it's, if you're going for Christmas, this is not it, but I would still recommend it.
And it's also a good opportunity to appreciate other cultures
Mhm.
around the holiday
Because
season.
this is also more relating to their Chinese New Year and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because at the end there was like lanterns showing the year of the dog or the snake or the dragon and things like that, so you
Mhm.
could go and find
Yeah.
what animal is associated to the year that you were born. Funny
Mhm.
enough, we're both the same thing. We're both dog.
Yep.
You're the dog.
Known for their loyalty and companionship. Something else that I really liked about this festival was that not only do they show the lanterns, but there are also little placards with each animal or display that talks about the significance of that animal or of that mythical creature to how it relates to the Asian culture and what it means symbolically.
Hmm.
And just reading more into that, it was just eye opening and you learn something new every day type of vibe. It was
Yeah,
really
you
cool.
get a little history lesson.
Yeah.
But when you arrive, you're greeted by a big lantern even before you walk in,
Hmm.
which is kind of
It
cool
was a
because it was a
whale.
huge whale, and I was like, "Oh, is that what we're expecting to see?"
Hmm.
Because I was expecting smaller,
Yeah.
so it's kind of like you're hit with that at first. And they were very well organized there.
Hmm.
I think they use a lot of the Central Florida Zoo staff to help operate this at night, but they have parking attendants out there helping guide people to the open spaces, and the parking is very close to the entrance. You go up, you get scanned in, and you're right in. And you mentioned the reservation times. I did find out that even if you have a 6 o'clock reservation time, you can stay as late as you want. You're
Hmm.
not like limited to the amount of time. So you could stay there for 2.5, 3 hours.
Yeah. Now they do close at 10, I believe.
Yeah, well, yeah, staying until they close, but just so people are aware that they're not constricted to the amount
Hmm.
of time they're there. I
Yeah.
will say it probably only takes about an hour to walk through if you're just casually doing it
Hmm.
and just moseying around and
Yeah.
enjoying things. If you're in a rush, you could go through quicker. I couldn't see myself spending 3 hours there
Oh.
unless I was really, hanging out and partaking in other stuff. And that other stuff was kind of interesting because it was not what I was expecting. We ate dinner before we got there because I was
Hmm.
thinking it's a zoo, it's a local zoo. They said they have food, but I was thinking like chicken tenders, cheeseburgers, fries, stuff
Hmm.
like that, stuff that I'm not really wanting at the moment. But when we got there, I was shocked to see that for the festival itself, they have little booths set up with specialty food items just for the festival. We saw people with sushi, we saw people with like ramen bowls, we saw people with like spring rolls
Yeah.
and things like that. And I was like, well, if we come back, I'll remember to eat here because it looked good and smelled good.
Yeah.
Like they were making it right there.
They also had different drinks there too, alcoholic, non-alcoholic, hot, cold,
Yeah.
whatever you fancy.
Yeah, so you had the pick of whatever you wanted. And like they were scattered throughout the event, which was
Hmm.
nice. So it wasn't like, oh, you need to go all the way back over here to go to the
Right.
food and the drink. No, it was like, oh, what's this? What's that?
Hmm.
And so you could walk around and try some different food
Yeah.
throughout the event, kind of like a little food festival as well.
And at each of those booths, they had kind of like a little picnic area to the side. That's a permanent fixture there, I'm assuming. But there was actual like seating close to those booths, which was nice.
Yeah, so you didn't have to walk around just holding
Yeah.
food. They also had like s'mores
Hmm.
area. They had like a few different fires, and so everyone wasn't just crowding around one. They had merchandise for the event.
Hmm.
They also just had regular merchandise for the zoo available too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wasn't expecting as much, but I'm glad it was the way that it was. I would take people back there again.
Yeah.
It was a good time. I can see why families make it a tradition. I would go back and try some of the food that they offer
Yeah.
now that I know.
they did say as we were leaving that it's going to be different next year.
Yeah.
So
I don't know how often they
I don't know.
change it. I don't know if they change it every year, but we did overhear that. So be interested to see if they change it every year.
I kind of want to know, what was your favorite lantern display there?
I think my favorite would have been the large dragon that they
Yeah,
had.
it was like the length of a football field.
I
It was
mean, it
long.
was well over 100 feet long,
Yeah.
and it's hard to imagine, um, but it was large. It was good.
Hmm.
It was a cool display to walk up upon. No, throughout the event, it's very relaxing. Don't feel like there was too many people there. It
Mm-mm.
wasn't overcrowded, like especially when we went. We went on a cooler night too, so it kind of gave you that holiday
Yeah,
mood.
that Christmas is starting now
Yeah.
vibe.
But then you had a lot of good photo ops. Either like just take pictures of the lantern themselves or selfies or photo ops they had set up for you. So it was a fun time. Again, posted that on Instagram,
Yeah.
Facebook, so check those visuals out if you would
Yeah.
like.
And not that you asked or anything, but my favorite.
Oh, hold on. What was your favorite lantern display?
So, my favorite lantern display was the mythical creatures area. So, me being kind of a book nerd girly
Yeah.
that is into fantasy books, I did love the Chinese dragon that you mentioned, but they also had more of your what you would traditionally think of with dragons, like with the wings and like
Yeah, like a different version.
yeah, so I liked that area. They had one little display. It was a Pegasus
Hmm.
unicorn that moved, which was really cool. So when you like stepped on a little designated circle,
There were some interactive elements,
yeah,
and this
yeah,
was one of them.
yeah.
Like it was
So
a foot activation.
yeah, so whenever you stepped on it, it would start to gallop and then it would slowly start flapping its wings and gallop while it's like quote unquote in the air. And
Hmm.
it was really cool.
And there was some like fog that came out with it.
Mm-hmm.
So they did it up. It wasn't just like stationary lanterns. There were some
Yeah.
that moved. Not all of
Yeah.
them moved, but there were quite a few that did have moving elements to
Mm-hmm.
it. There were like bubbles and
Yeah. Little
fog and stuff like
bubbles
that.
filled with fog.
Yeah, all kinds of different, you know, 4D elements.
It was really cool. It was a good little time. Definitely recommend. This one we unfortunately did not get our HIA discount with, but on the website for the HIA, you can get a discount to just the general admission to the Central Florida
Yeah,
Zoo.
which we will definitely be back to check out.
Oh, yeah.
So something that was fun that we've been wanting to do since we moved here was a hockey game.
Oh, yeah. We did do that, didn't we?
We are not like big into like watching sports like on TV, but we like our fair share of going to a live sporting event.
Yeah.
I think the only one that at least I haven't been to is a professional football game.
There's quite a few that I have not been
Yeah.
to. I have not been to professional soccer, basketball. There is the Orlando Valkyries. It's professional volleyball that I
Oh
want to
yeah.
go to sometime in the future. But this one was a minor league hockey game. It was the Solar Bears. It
Yeah.
was the
This is the perfect mascot for Florida or
yeah.
Orlando.
It's
Should
so
say
he's
the
so
Orlando
cute.
Solar Bears.
He's like a polar bear, but
He
in
lives
the
in the sunny
sun.
state.
He's so cute. But shout out to my book club friend Amber. She actually snagged us some tickets through her work, and unfortunately she wasn't able to go with us, but another member of our book club was able to go with us, so we kind of made it like a little double date thing.
Yeah, it was fun. We were pretty close. We were right on the side in the center, pretty close to the ice, and it was a good view. It's a good game. It wasn't like overly packed or anything.
No.
It was like a Sunday matinee
Yeah.
game afternoon. So we grabbed some lunch beforehand, and then we walked over. They play their games at the Kia Center, which is in
Hmm.
downtown Orlando. The Kia Center is primarily known for where the Orlando Magic play, which is the city's professional basketball team. But the Kia Center has the Solar Bears, and then they do a lot of concerts and stuff. But we've actually been to minor league hockey games before when we used to live in Charlotte, North Carolina. This was years ago. They were the Charlotte Checkers.
Mm-hmm.
They were the affiliate of the North Carolina Hurricanes team. So the Hurricanes was the professional team, and the Charlotte Checkers were the step below in the minor leagues. And so when we got home, I had to look up what the Solar Bears were, and they're part of the East Coast Hockey League, which doesn't make quite sense because I was looking up teams, and there were teams in like Utah that were part of the East Coast Hockey League, but whatever, I don't make the rules for this. And so essentially they are 2 steps down from the pros. So the pro would be NHL, and then there's the AHL, which is American Hockey League, and then there's the East Coast Hockey League. There's no professional hockey team in Orlando. The closest one would be Tampa, which is the Tampa Bay Lightning, and that's who the affiliate is for the Solar Bears. So they're the minor league affiliate of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Well, it's a good little game. They do a good job of getting the crowd hyped up, and everything, and they do all the the t-shirt tosses and
the different cams,
all the different. We were on the cam once.
We were I think actually 3 times total. Well,
I think we were in a good spot. They had some merch set up. We ended up getting a little souvenir pin at the end of the game, but of course, you know what we were there for? We were there for the fights.
Oh, yeah.
What's a hockey game without a fight? Right. Okay, I mean, they did win. Props to them. They did win, but I want to see a brawl.
Yeah. And they let them fight at the end. I think they
this part, I don't know how it works, but part of me thinks that it's part of the show.
Yeah.
If there's nothing that happens during the game, they let the losing team initiate the fight. I don't know. This could be just me making up the story, but it's still fun.
Yeah.
They take off their helmets and their gloves and they start hitting each other and stuff like that. We all turn immature. We all are rooting for the thing that we tell people not to do.
I know. And especially me as a school counselor, I'm always like, use your words. Don't use your fists. But when it comes to hockey, it's like,
hit them. Smash them into the wall. Things like that.
But no, overall, it was a really good game. It was really close, back and forth. And we won, I believe it was 2-1.
Yeah.
And pulled through. So I would definitely go back. This was a really cool opportunity just because a friend had some access to some discounted tickets and we were like, heck yeah, let's do it.
Minor league games for any sport are always pretty fun. They're not as stressful. Not saying the professional stuff isn't fun because they're the pros. They're the people you want to see. They're the people you see on TV. But if you're looking for especially a family oriented night or day and to go see a game, the minor league games are great. Because when we even used to live in Charlotte, North Carolina, we would go see the minor league baseball team that was there, the Charlotte Knights. They're the affiliate of the Chicago White Sox. And that was fun. The stadiums and the arenas are typically smaller. So the stress of trying to figure out how to maneuver throughout those places won't be as intense as a professional.
And I feel
setup.
The overall atmosphere there and attitude is we don't take ourselves too seriously.
Everybody's there just to have fun. Even if the Solar Bears lost, you're just there to have it's not oh my god, we lost, let's go outside and flip some cars and, and tear down the light.
We're not destroying property because our team loses.
But that was just another little activity that we did.
We'll definitely be back, and we actually scored some other tickets to a game in the future. So
we already have plans in a way to go back.
Exactly. So I know we've been talking a lot about things that we've been doing around the area, but one other thing that we did was we went to a concert at the House of Blues at Disney Springs.
And we like to go to a lot of concerts. I don't know if we've talked a lot about it on this podcast, but we're big, we like hard rock, heavy metal, new metal, screamo, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
It's harder rock music. And this was the last one of the year that we had. We have some next year I'm excited for too. But we went to a lot of concerts this year. Our first one was back in March.
Yep.
And feel like once or every other month we've been to a show.
Yeah.
But it's so fun. That the energy is great. Like it's like a release of stress,
Oh.
in a way. It's just good times. You'll find us at a lot of the hard rock shows around the
Headbanging.
central area. We might not look like it, but it's something that we like.
Always think it's funny. So, kind of side quest story here. Whenever I start a new year at school, we always do like, get to know you icebreaker games or activities. And it's always like two truths and a lie or something like that. And one of the things I always say is, I know it doesn't look like it. And especially me being the school counselor where I'm supposed to be all like happy go lucky and all like chipper and whatnot, you would never think that my favorite genre of music is heavy metal. And everybody just turns and gapes at that.
Mm-hmm.
So, little fun little side quest story there. But yeah, it's a good time, good stress reliever.
So I just counted it up.
Oh,
14 concerts in 2025.
really? Wow.
Some of them
Look
were
at
at
us.
Epcot,
Yeah.
like part of the festivals that they have going on.
Okay.
But I'm still counting them because
Yeah.
we waited in line, we saw one or two sets of them, but 14 different concerts this year.
That's crazy because I actually have like a goal. It's my own personal, like, silly goal to go to at least the same amount of concerts that I did the previous year or more.
Oh, geez.
So
you gotta go to 15
I gotta go to 15 next year.
Well, it might be doable if you leave out the Epcot ones, because I think there were like 4 or 5 of the Epcot ones.
My average has been 7 number of concerts that like
we went to
pay
more
to see.
We went to more than that this year.
Yeah.
I would say it was more around the 9 or 10 that we paid to go see.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I say paid, yes, we bought our annual pass to Disney, and which gets us into Epcot to see those shows. But still,
yeah,
I guess it's a little bit different. But to me, there's still a concert. It was on my calendar as a concert, and I'm counting it as a concert.
There you go.
But the most recent one that we saw last week was "Fit for a King," and boy, was that a banger!
Oh yeah,
this is one of my more favorite bands. You like them, but maybe not as much as me.
Yeah.
They are probably more on the intense side of ones that would like. What I mean by that is like any more intense than them is a little out of our comfort zone.
Yeah.
So probably that's the limit.
Yeah.
There were 3 openers, and I would say the openers are a little too out of our range. A Fit for a King is right there at the top. And they played almost every song from their new album, which is a good album, which was fun to hear. They played some older stuff too. Yeah, always a good time at a heavy metal show, especially where we were. So we were up on the second level, the little balcony area. So, which I'm glad, because we had a bird's eye view of the mosh pit happening.
Oh my gosh.
And we've been to quite a few hard rock shows before, but this was probably one of the more
as far as moshing.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the times you have like a section that'll do it, but as many people down there that were doing it, it was like the whole floor was like moving around. And it was kind of like, I'm glad I have my own elbow space up here.
Yeah. Even though we love the heavy metal music and the headbanging, we are not moshers. I do not feel comfortable getting into a circle of other people and pushing and shoving and walking away with possibly a bloody nose, a bruise or two. It just does not sound fun to me.
It's fun to watch, though.
Yeah.
It's a good time to watch. And if you see my posts on Instagram, like you can see some of the
oh my gosh,
some of the things. It is quite like interesting. It's like, wow, okay. People will dress up in costumes and whatnot. And I will say, if you're not familiar with this type of music and what's going on in the mosh pit, they're not out there trying to hurt people.
No.
Like that is not the goal. It is just a culture thing of trying to release energy, and they make physical contact out of it.
Yeah.
And I will there is a set in stone rule when it comes to moshing. What do you do if someone falls down? You pick them up. And you will see that. Like somebody will trip and fall down in the middle of whatever's going on, and a few people will stop and like guard them and get them off the ground,
Mm-hmm.
they'll continue going.
Yep.
And they're not out there like punching someone in the face or anything.
No.
They're like, it's hard to describe without you seeing it, but they've got their way that they hold their arms up and they do certain moves. And I will say some people will get clocked in the nose and there'll be blood, but the person that gets hit, they're never like offended. They understand that as part of
Yeah.
the thing. I've seen shows that I've worked at before where like people will have mouth guards
Mm-hmm.
in. I saw one recently
Like
where
a
there's
face
a
mask.
face guard on
Yeah.
to protect like their nose from getting broken or something like that. I'm like, all right, if I have to come to a concert like that, I saw somebody with like little boxing gloves on one time to protect their hands.
Yeah.
But it's funny. There's always somebody dressed up as a banana, and that's where the pit's gonna be.
Yeah.
Like they're in a banana costume.
Yeah. If you don't want to be in the moshing, stay away from the banana guy.
Stay away from Banana Man. But it's so fun because the artists will like get the crowd involved in this. They'll ask the crowd to do certain things. So like the typical one is crowd surfing. Everybody knows what crowd surfing is. But then if you're not familiar, these are going to sound like harsh terms, but like circle of death, wall of death, everything has to do with death, but no one's dying. Trust me, no one's out here trying to do this. Literally, I think my favorite one to see is the wall of death. Is because it's like the adult headbanger version of Red Rover.
Yeah.
Literally, they're like, I want to see this room split down the middle. So everybody does it. They start moving out of the way. And there'll be like a 15-foot gap between one group of people and the other. And what happens from there is like the music starts and it ramps up. And when the drop happens, everybody just runs towards each other. And it's like, what are these adults doing?
But my thing with the wall of death is that I think is kind of fascinating is that one person, the singer, the artist, is able to influence and get so many people to listen to them.
Are you referencing the reel I sent you yesterday?
Kind of, in a way. But yeah, like this one person is able to influence like hundreds of people.
And you can't even control the 20 kids in your class.
Yeah, it's just fascinating. To that, I say the people that are going to these concerts are paying to go and they want to be there.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Children don't always want to be in school.
Yeah.
So it's apples to oranges, my dear.
The Circle of Death, though, is good too because they get going and it just looks like a mixer down there. And it's just they're not moving that fast, but just like the amount of people going, it's so fun.
Yeah.
It's just fun to watch. I'll view from above. I don't need to be a part of that. No. I enjoyed
also not be crowd surfing because I've seen some horror story things happen when it comes to crowd surfing with people being like thrown to people being dropped on their heads to shirts riding up to stuff being stolen off of people. Like it is
I will
crazy.
say though, I have this dream of crowd surfing one day. But like I want to do it where I know I'm going to be safe.
Yeah.
Like I want to be like, all right, everybody, are you on board? I'm going to get up. Do not drop me.
Yeah.
Do not like flip me over or anything. Yeah. But like in my brain, I'm like, I want to crowd surf one day. Maybe
the idea is cool. I think the implementation is where it falls flat for me. Like the fantasy and the idea of it sounds really cool.
Yeah.
But the actual execution of it, not a fan because I've seen too many bad things happen with it.
Yeah.
But I'll stand there and headbang and kind of do like a little like
sing along, jump around.
Yeah.
We like to like pretend like with each other that we're like doing our own little moshing.
Yeah. Like a little couple mini shoves back and forth, but nothing like where we're actually causing harm. I also refuse to be at the barricade because again, that's where all the crowd surfers are ending up going and you might get a foot to the head. And also once you're there, like you literally cannot leave because then someone's just going to take your spots. You gotta
props to the people that do it though, because they wait in line all day to be first in line. They're the first one and they stand there and I'm
dedication.
Like, I don't need to do that, but I'm glad you're having fun doing
Yeah.
it. They're also the ones that are most likely to get like the set list, the guitar picks and the drumsticks and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But
I got a set
um,
list one time.
yeah,
Yeah.
when they ball it up and throw it,
Yeah.
it's good to get, easy to get. But yeah, next year I'm excited because this time of year is when they start to announce shows for next year, early next year, I would say. Early in the year, like January to April, they start announcing shows for the second half of a calendar year. And so we've got some in the books already that I'm excited for.
I know we kind of, I feel like we kind of like blacked out one night and just bought a ton of concert tickets for the upcoming year.
Well, you just kind of like, it's there, you're going to go to it. Might as well do it.
Exactly. But I wanted to ask you, like, which one of the few that we've purchased so far, which one are you most looking forward to?
There's a couple that, because they're brand new, most of them are brand new actually, but one is Electric Callboy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm super excited about that.
Yeah.
They're like techno hard rock.
Yeah.
Like techno hard rock, screamo, all mixed into one. If you've never heard of them and you want like high energy, I would listen to them. It's funny enough. We'll put Electric Callboy on before we start filming the podcast just to be like, let's get the energy up.
Yeah.
Just to do that. So I'm looking forward to that. And then we're going to go see 3 Days Grace, but there's an opener called The Pretty Wild. And this is not The Pretty Reckless. This is a completely different band called The Pretty Wild. They're a band led by a female duo and good high energy hard rock. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah. There's a couple that I am looking forward to. One of them bringing out my like inner like teenage core love of like what initially got me into hard rock.
Yeah.
Evanescence.
Yeah.
My gosh, I am so excited. So it's basically going to be like strong independent women power tour of like Evanescence, Spirit Box, Nova Twins, and there's I believe one other group that I'm not familiar with, but I know those three are going to be where we're going to go see them. And it is one of my bucket list items to go see Evanescence. And I'm so excited that I get to do that this upcoming year. And I'm also excited for the 3 Days Grace because they also help to contribute to my love and initial spark of appreciation for heavy metal and hard rock.
Yeah.
And they are also going to be touring with I Prevail, Sleep Theory, like you mentioned,
that whole lineup for that 3 days.
It's literally
all good. Everything
amazing.
Yeah. We like all the bands
involved
in that tour. So that's going to be a cool one.
Oh yeah. And the other one that I'm also excited for, we actually, myself and a friend from book club, we went and saw this band this past year. It's called Melrose Avenue. And
they're Australian.
They are. They're from the land down under. The main singer from this band, he got really popular on TikTok and Instagram reels and things like that because he does all of his shows shirtless and he has tattoos all over himself. So he's like a heartthrob. Yeah. So he definitely attracts the younger female crowd and book talk girlies and things like that. So that was kind of that was one reason that me and my friend went.
I know. I remember. And now I'm going to go see them.
Yeah.
I got to go see what the talk is all about.
I know.
No, they do have good music.
Dude, their music is really good. They only have they have a good cluster of songs out. Definitely not as many as like your big bands. They're still definitely up and coming.
No, they are up and coming. When y'all went and saw them, they were at a venue that is more of a bar.
Yeah.
But it still has small concerts. And then now they're at more of like an established venue. It's still a small venue, but it's more reputable as like, this is a venue.
Mm-hmm.
So they're working their way.
Yeah. And they've opened for some bigger names too. I couldn't name any off the top of my head right now.
Yeah, down the road, we'll probably see them open up for bands that are at like the House of Blues and things like that. I think
they actually opened for Iceman Kills somewhere while they were on tour. And the show that me and my friend went to, it was kind of like one of those like one-off like oh, we'll go over here while you guys go over there type of thing.
Okay. Yeah, they're little one-off shows.
Yeah, but overall, very good band, and very easy on the eyes.
Jeez. But yeah, that's about all we've really done since we've uploaded our last podcast. I wouldn't say all we've done. It's been quite a bit. We've been busy. It's been fun. Right now we're really like gung ho on all the Christmas and the holiday stuff. So we were doing that. And I think you're gonna start seeing a lot more like content from the holiday stuff on social media soon. Whether
if you
it be
haven't
like,
already.
whether it be like the theme parks and things like that. We've done quite a bit. We got more on the list that we want to do. And I know we're going to talk about it coming up soon. So the holidays are upon us.
Yes.
And I'm excited. It's always a good time of the year. It feels like communities change and come together and things become festive and everybody kind of has an understanding of what we're all trying to do and feel like during this time of the year.
It's definitely a time to also bring a little joy to other people and to just appreciate and be thankful and grateful for the things that are in your life and just make it more about who's in your life, not what's in your life.
This time of year always brings like nostalgic memories for me. Like, you're trying to bring back those core feelings in a way, but it's different because you're older and your family is shaped differently because
you have like your chosen family, like people that you've married into and friends that became family in a way. And especially for us, with us not having kids, we have more of that chosen family.
And we make our own traditions. Like things that we do. And a lot of those traditions stem from things that we used to do as kids, but we kind of mold them into our own. So I'm excited to talk more about that. And I'm excited for the activities to come up because the closer it gets to Christmas and the holidays, I feel like more and more gets
it like ramps
in.
up.
And you're trying to fit it all in before that final day.
I know. I'm excited for all of like the holiday food is one of my favorite things about this season. I love peppermint hot chocolate and gingerbread and just all the holiday flavors.
Just give me a bunch of cookies. Again, I hope you guys are following us on Instagram and Facebook. That's where a lot of our visual content is out right now. You can listen to all of our episodes, which are also available now on YouTube and Spotify.
In the meantime, feel free to give us a comment, a like, a subscribe, all the things. Y'all know what to do. And until next time, mind boldly, dream freely, and remember, there's no one to tell us no.